Hello, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Jesus Wants You. I'm the Watchman on the Wall, Nikki Pratt. Listen, doing things a little different with these fulfillment prophecies. Of course, I'm a one-man show, so I have to use some wisdom and be creative. These are a little behind. These are. But I'm going to group them together, these few, and then the one that I think is kind of new, or must I say kind of major, or was a recent prophecy that I feel like that needs to be put out, then it will be done on a separate venue. But with that said, of course, one that I really need to do separate is the one of my daughters. She prophesied concerning Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, period. And so I'm going to do that separate from what I'm grouping here. So in the title, you see it's fulfilling prophecies, sexual, immoral, and it says students. I don't have much room, and then church attacks, the recent church attacks. So I'm going to start with the sexual immoral, the shackers. There was a video that I put out March 31st concerning the sexual immoral and shackers. That's fornicators. Sex before marriage. So I'm going to start in this fulfillment prophecy. Lo and behold, you guys, 2 Fridays ago, which would have been March 30th, or maybe a date, whatever, March 31st or somewhere up in there. I have a cousin. She never calls. So if she calls, something bad didn't happen in the family, or somebody is deceased. That is just horrible to say, but that is just truth. I don't have many family that deal with me at all. So when she calls, and she's from my mom's side of the family, I'll answer. So anyway, she starts off the conversation and says that one of our, I can't really call this lady our aunt, but she was known as our aunt for years, ever since I was a teenager in high school, probably 13, 14. This particular lady was with her uncle. So she was like, "Did you hear that she passed?" And I said, "No." Of course, nobody deal with me from that side of the family. So I said, "No," right? So she goes in to say that this lady, her name is Gloria, passed away on March 29th. And she said that she got sick on the 21st. And I was like, "Oh, wow, what was going on with her?" And she started saying that she had some edema, which is swelling in the legs, and as she's describing everything, I'm like, was it something wrong with her liver? And she confirmed that and says yes. And then some other issues, cancer. Got sick on the 21st of March, died on the 29th. And the prophecy I think I did was March 31st, right? Okay. So as she's telling me the story, she was like, "Well, she was sick, but they wouldn't give her uncle any information about her, and they knew that she didn't have but a week to live." And I was like, because she said that at first she said, "Did you hear that her uncle's wife died?" And the whole time I'm like, "Oh, wow. So I guess they got married, at some point." So she was like, well, they wouldn't give him any information and da 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 da. And I'm like, hold up, that's his wife. Why wouldn't he get any information? She says, well, they were common law married. You guys, when I heard that word common law, I'm like, I haven't heard two words common law in ages. And I was like, what? And I said, wow. So all this time, since I was a teenager, I said they never got married. She said, well, no, they just go by the rules of common law and da 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 da. So I started telling her about the prophecy that I'd recently put out, and I was like, this is just another confirmation. And I started telling her about, the sexually immoral, and I was like, what's sad is, as old as they were, they never once thought to get married. So the next day, I was led to ask her, how old was she? 72. This was a ninth hour warning. She was 72. You already know 7 plus 2 is 9. She died on the 29th. Okay? We're in the ninth hour judgment. Like it or not, the Lord is speaking with this number. He died in that hour. He's speaking with this number. And this is the seriousness of this, you guys. If we're in a judgment hour, that means that we need to be very vigilant and very critical minded of what we know that the Lord don't like. He don't like sin. We all sin and fall short of the glory of God. But at the end of the day, right from wrong, especially if you are a believer or claiming to be a believer or Christian. Okay? Meaning the hour is nigh. He said, when you start seeing these signs, look to the heavens, for your redemption draweth nigh. So what that means, you have to start recognizing the signs of the times, where we are. The glass is almost full. We don't have time to play around. So what the Lord is showing in this hour, He's not playing. Suffer your house, your temple, not to be broke into. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, so this second story, this is a news story. That was family. This is news story. Bodies found in search for a woman who disappeared, a couple who disappeared in the Dominican Republic. I don't know if you guys ever heard about this, but there was a couple in New York, went on a vacation in the Dominican Republic and was supposed to be due back in New York March 27th. You hearing this? 27. That's another number 9. And they didn't make it back. I'm just going to paraphrase the story because I don't want this video to be too long. His name was Orlando Moore. He was 43. Her name was Portia Ravenel. Okay? The family had been looking for him for over 2 weeks. Their crew director or their tour guide informed them that it was very dangerous for tourists, that when you get in your rental car, make sure that you're all gassed up, don't stop for anything. Long story short, they had to be at the airport at 2 o'clock in the morning. I think the story said they left the resort around 11 o'clock at night, said their goodbyes, never made it. They got into an accident. Her body was thrown from the car maybe like a mile back or something, another that happened. And he was the car ran off into the ocean. So he was found, his body was washed up ashore. A fisherman or somebody found it. Her body was found like a mile away or so away. They took her to the hospital where she died. They were not married. Not married. So, all right. Firefighter shoots dead fiance and then kills himself in front of the police after terrifying the 11-year-old, because they did this in front. He did this in front of the child. It says, wait, I didn't tell y'all when this other story. Once again, why isn't the dates coming up on this? Well, it'll be on the news deal. This story, the date is on it. This happened April 11th. It says firefighter shoots dead fiance. Okay, a firefighter has killed his fiance, not married. Catching this? Before fatally shooting himself in front of responding officers. Demetrius Butler, 35, was identified as the man who died in the suspected murder-suicide in Ohio. Butler was a firefighter and a paramedic with the Twinsburg Fire Department. Police responded to the home at the 600 block of Britton Road at about 2 a.m. after an 11-year-old heard gunshots. The girl told the dispatcher that she had found her 35-year-old mother who was somehow in the basement, found her deceased in the basement. It's a sad situation. And there was they had a 7-year-old son who was also in the home at the time of the shooting. The police arrived and found that the woman's fiance, identified as Butler, had fled the scene. Butler was tracked to a residential area about 4 miles away at the 1400 block of Virginia Avenue. As an officer approached Butler, he put the gun to his chest and shot himself. How cowardly. This is sad. So these children is without parents. 11 and 7. Without parents. Not married. They were shacking. Wow. So these next story that I wanted to, this other prophecy I wanted to bring about, it says students. You guys remember me doing the video about the spirit of death over schools. Anything dealing with kids bother me. I'm sorry. And I pray for children, colleges, babies, all the time. Every time I get a chance to pray. Daniel 2:22 says, He revealeth the deep and secret things, and the light dwelleth with him. So I'm paraphrasing that. This was prophesied March 3rd, 2019. Again, pray against this. But let me just share some of these stories with you. Where's the church ordeal? Okay. I'll find it here in a minute. Okay, this is a story that it happened March 7th. This person had numerous violations. It says that a state investigation into the Ware Youth Center uncovered multiple infractions after 2 boys, a 13-year-old and a 17-year-old, committed suicide. Wait a minute, this ain't the, well, yeah. This really is a twofold prophecy, because I also have prophecies up about suicide spirit. So, but these boys committed suicide at the juvenile detention within 72 hours of each other. A 13-year-old and a 17-year-old within 72 hours. 7 plus 2 is? Right. It says, through a public records request, KSLA investigates learned the Department of Children and Family Services licensing supervisor found a total of 6 violations at Ware. Those included missed required sleeping checks and delays in the initial mental health evaluations. The Ware Youth Center in Red River Parish is licensed by the Department of Children's Services, and it says it does not fall under the Office of Juvenile Justice. However, on the nights of the suicides, February 7th was 1, February, the month of 2, 7th, another 9, and February 9th, records reveal where staff members failed to check on the boys over the course of multiple 15-minute rounds when the suicides occurred, according to documents. It says the juvenile detention centers are required to give a mental health assessment performed by a qualified mental health professional within 72 hours, unless the youth was assessed within 24 hours of admission. The 72 hours, it just keeps coming up. Wow, so I won't carry on with that, but it's horribly sad. It's sad. 2 kids killed themselves, but then, okay, 1 in custody after student shot at Grambling State University. This happened March 7th. Officials are investigating after a student was shot Thursday morning at Grambling State University. According to our sister station, KNOE, it happened around 8:50 a.m., 10 minutes to 9, near the Mary McLeod Bethune dorm. Oh, that was a mouthful. The suspect, who is not a student, is in custody at this time. School officials are calling this a non-violent shooting. I don't get it. It's a shooting. A shooting is violent. Talk about calling evil good and good evil. A non-violent shooting. Did I read something wrong? Wait. I had to read something wrong. 1 in custody after student shot at Grambling. The student was shot. How is it a non-violent? I'm done. Ooh, Lord, help us, Lord. That's the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. Here's another story. Man accused of fatally shooting motorist in Shreveport. This happened February 21st. Shreveport police have made an arrest in connection with the fatal shooting of motorists in mid-December. Let me just tell y'all something. These stories that I'm giving you ain't even half the stories that's out there right now. I could only bring about so much. But this is enough. It says detectives have charged 18-year-old. 1 plus 8 is? I'm just saying. Jonathan LaCory T. Rogers of the 3500 block of Cedar Creek Drive in Shreveport, where I live, you guys, with 1 count of second-degree murder. He is accused of killing a 24-year-old Tevin Washington. This guy is a school student. Did you catch that age? Washington was found about 6 p.m. December 14th. The 900 block, watch this, of Babylon Street. Yes, we have a Babylon Street here. The 900 block of Babylon Street. He had been shot in his head while driving. Washington was taken by ambulance, Ochsner LSU Health in Shreveport, where he later died. This is so disheartening. Young people barely even have a chance to live. You ain't live enough to get married. I mean, Where is this church? Oh, um, it's sad. Okay, I'm moving on to the church attacks. Everybody probably have heard of this. Um, yeah, but pray for students, kids, period. There's so many heinous things that I'm hearing every single day. A woman takes her child to the mall, somebody throws him over the balcony at this 3-story, this whatever they call that mall, the biggest mall in America. They throw him over. Like, what? I mean, y'all, it's crazy. This is such a dark time that we're in. Okay, so this next prophecy was prophesied December 20th, 2016. Church attacks, and I have in parentheses ambassadors for Christ, meaning church attacks on the light of the world, the people that what was I thinking about? Basically, the light of the world. Anything that looks like, walk like, talk like the light of the world is what I was getting at with that. So this says, many of you heard about these 3 churches in Louisiana that has been destroyed. The scripture with this is Daniel 2:22. But I say this, listen. A lot of what some of these churches are being attacked by the enemy because there's reasons. You hear what I'm saying? And I know evil comes on the good and the bad. But again, this is judgment hour. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to leave it at that. But when it comes to Louisiana churches, and this is coming from somebody who lives here, I'm going to leave that alone. April 11th, and I don't know if this is the date it happened. I don't think it was. I think it happened April 9th. But there's been a series of different churches. There was 3 churches that burned down. They found out that a sheriff deputy's son charged in connection with 3 black churches fires in church fires in Louisiana. I just got this thought. Yeah, and this is also a twofold prophecy too, because I just put up one. There's one that said it was going to be a video 9th hour prophecy I just did of upheavals and racial motivated attacks. And I saw a story that came in my news feed 2 days later after I did that, and the story was titled "Attack on this African American," and it said racial motivated. So anyway, this Opelousas, Louisiana, the first fire engulfed St. Mary Baptist Church in late March, incinerating nearly everything that stood within the historically black church. Pews turned to ash, and the brick walls burned so hot that they collapsed into piles of smoldering rubble in Port Bar. Then another black church in St. Landry Parish burned, and then another, 3 in a span of 10 days, sending black communities into a panic, and authorities racing to stop an arsonist from destroying another house of worship. Law enforcement in southern Louisiana found their suspect close to home, Holden Matthews, the son of parish sheriff's deputy. Matthew, 21, was arrested Wednesday and charged with 3 arson counts amid fears the arson was motivated by hate. See what I mean? By twofold prophecy. And I that just clicked with me as I was sitting here reading. I'm like, wait, I'm doing one thing, but it's actually, anyway. It has been especially painful because it reminds us of a very dark past of intimidation and fear, and that's what it is. You know, Daniel 2:22 says he reveals the deep and secret things. These are the deep and evil things that the enemy is planning. And I don't know if y'all seen this news story last night about this guy. He's in the heavy metal, but he was talking. The song sounded so evil. You can tell that he was definitely drenched with demons. Is that a word? I don't even know, but it sounds good right now. Drenched with demons. It's crazy. But it says Matthew is the son of St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Deputy Roy Matthews, who was shocked and hurt at the news of the arrest. St. Landry Parish, oh, don't feel bad. It's like PKs, preacher's kids. That's what they do. They make you look bad. They do. Woo! Stay on topic. It says, this is false, he said from the podium. Yeah, you thought it was false. Gidros rebuffed earlier reports that Matthews was taken into custody by his own father. I would have to be the one to arrest my child too. I'm going to tell you that right now. One of my children that did something like this, and I found out, let me arrest him after punching the daylights out of him. First, then locking him up. That's what would have happened. But that's all I'm going to read on that story. Again, that prophecy on these church attacks was December 20th, 2016. Yeah. So I will attach these news stories to these prophecies. There will be a separate one. I also have another video to do today concerning, this is two of the videos. I don't know if I'm going to do both of them, but I am going to do one of them. And it's concerning marriage and relationships. Very powerful, you guys. Do not miss it. It's one of the ones that some of you have been waiting on. It's coming up. It's coming up after this Rio de Janeiro prophecy. Okay? Love you guys. See you next video. Thanks.